Hi guys, welcome to this week's video. I hope you guys had a great week. Thank you for the nice comments from our last video, our little Thanksgiving that we had up north here. So a lot of your regulars that follow our channel that are obviously more familiar with our content and what we usually share on our channel might have already guessed what the triangles are. Okay, for those of you that haven't, maybe your first time on the channel, maybe you've never heard of them at all, then this video is for you. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Carlos, and Laura is going to be joining us a bit later on this video. We have a channel called Our Journey on Pico Island. Maybe that's a clue. Okay, so anyways, so let's get right into it. The Triangle Islands is basically a nickname, okay, that we're given to three islands that belong to the Azores, Portugal. Where are the Azores? The Azores are in the North Atlantic, so you're about basically five and a half hours flight from North America, like Toronto. Boston's probably a little bit less. You're a couple hours from Lisbon. This archipelago is basically in the middle of the North Atlantic. There is nothing else around this area, okay? Very healthy area. And the top of the Azores, which there are 9 islands, it's actually the top of a huge mountain range, probably one of the largest mountain ranges on the planet, called the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, that runs all the way from Iceland all the way down to the south. And these are the top islands that are on there, okay, that you can actually see, okay? Like I said, there are 9 islands, okay, and they're divided into 3 groups. The western group, which actually is the most westerly point of all of Europe. There's 2 islands there called Flores and Corfu, okay? Then you have the southern group, which is 2 islands, and it's called São Miguel, St. Michael, and Santa Maria, okay? And this is on the south side of the Azores, okay? And then you have the central group, which is 5 islands. Basically, there's the island of Terceira, the island of Graciosa, and then you have Faial, São Jorge, and Pico. Okay, São Jorge like St. George. And those 3 make up the Triangle Islands. Why? It's the proximity to each other. Okay, so they're very close. All right, so you have so they're basically, just to give you an idea, Fayal to Pico, about 25 minutes by ferry. That's it. And then from Pico to St. George, let's say about 45 minutes. And then if you wanted to go from Fayal to St. George, you're looking about an hour, but a lot of times it might make a stop on on Pico, for example. So that's why they call it the Triangle Island. So it literally makes a triangle, right? So, and that's basically the nickname that they gave it. And some of you already knew that. Obviously, if you're from the Azores or if you've been there, you obviously know these islands. You might not know that they had this nickname. But so, because it's being used more and more now with marketing, the Azores tourism, they're basically promoting it because it's actually a good way to promote these 3 islands, okay? Because the Azores as a whole is the 7th region of Portugal, okay? And the 6th being Madeira, and obviously the other 5 are in the mainland. This is all just to put everything into perspective, so you basically get a lay of the land. So one main reason why we wanted to do this video, or why we thought it would be important, was just to touch a little bit on these 3 islands of the Azores, nicknamed Triangle Islands, okay? Afterwards, actually, I will leave a link for visittheazores.com. I'll put it in there because, that's a great site because it talks about all the islands, okay? They'll have photos in there, added information, everything you really would want to know about these 9 islands, okay? Including the central group and including the Triangle Islands, okay? And feel free just to go in there and kind of, if you've never heard of it, do a little research, get familiar with it, all right? We will be sharing more information on other videos on the Azores. Let's start with Fayal, okay? So Fayal is a very famous island, okay, and is the closest proximity to, let's say, the island of Pico. It's a bit, like I said, it's about 20-minute ferry ride, 25 minutes, okay? It's about 173 square kilometers, so it's a good size. It's not huge, but it's easy to move around. It's a beautiful island. It has the city of Horta, which is known for. Very cute, kind of blue, yellow, pink, green houses. I think it's a gorgeous, gorgeous city. Okay, Horta, and it also has. It's known around the world for its famous marina. Okay, it's one of the top marinas, and actually, even if not just, it's one of the most important marinas in the world. Okay, it's it's one of the main links between North America and Europe. When you're crossing, sailing, and so forth. So it's also known right by the marina. You have a place called Peter Cafe. Everyone around the world, every sailor, people that visit, they know Peter's Cafe. Okay, and it's definitely a place where everyone that gets to the island, it's a must visit. Okay, so it also has some beaches. Okay, so there's a black sand beach on there that's very famous. There's another bay called Porto Ping, which is a gold sand beach, very picturesque. The other black sand beach is Almusharif. Okay, but again, all this information you can see it on Visit Azores site. Okay, you can get more in depth, and there's maps and so forth. On this island, they also had in 1957 they had a major eruption. It lasted for about a year, I believe, and it kind of grew a bit. And there's an area called Capelinhos. Okay. So this literally looks like Mars or the moon. That kind of it's again, it's worth the visit. Every time I visit there, it's kind of wow. You kind of puts everything to reality at what what volcanic's all about and so forth. How these islands are made. Characteristics of all these islands is the same as Hawaii. Okay. In fact, when they describe the Azores, they describe it a little bit of Hawaii, a little bit of Iceland, a little bit of New Zealand. It's kind of a little bit of all those three you can find in the Azores. Fayal also has a crater. It's one of the highest altitudes on the island. It's worth seeing. It's known as the Blue Island. Why? Because in the summer months it's just blue with hydrangeas. Okay, I mean it's incredible. They line up the roads. All the islands have them. Some have more than others, the hydrangeas, and it's just, wow, it's amazing. Okay, so I think that's it. Just on Fayal, it's an island where it's an easy skip and jump back and forth from Pico, right? So I think that's definitely an island that you should consider, and it's the beauty of staying in one of the three islands. You can go to all of them. Even though you don't have to stay in all the islands. You can stay in one and visit the others. All right, so now St. George. Now this island, out of all 9, is the longest island. It's really long, okay? Even longer than the main island of São Miguel, okay? It's like narrow and long, high cliffs, totally dramatic island, okay? And literally, you're about 45 minutes roughly from Pico. Okay, Pico's right in the middle of both, so from Pico's 45 minutes, from Fayal it's about an hour. But a lot of people go to São Jorge for hiking, for example. It's one of the top islands, I think, in the Azores for hiking. You could hike in all of them, but I think they have these special areas called fajange, right? What does that mean? It means, so when the eruption ended, you have these lava flows, right? You're going to be left with these cliffs, these monster cliffs, or where it ends, you'll be flatlands. It's a flatland after the lava flow stops, okay? And some of these you can't even drive, okay? You have to hike down. And they have, I think, over 50 of them, something like that. They're all named, and they all have some, there's one that has these clams. That's the only place in the world that you could actually find these clams. And you have a cookout when you visit. So it's a very unique island. Like they all are. They're all unique. They're all similar. They all have beauty, but they each have the characteristics will be a little different, and that's what the beauty of all 9 islands, So São Jorge is also, the city of São Jorge is called Village. Okay, it's a cute little, beautiful city. The square kilometers of the whole island is about 240 square kilometers. Okay, population is about 8,300. Okay, Forgot to mention Feyal has population at about 14,000. Okay, people come to hike, they canyon, they mountain climb, extreme, those active adventurous sports. A lot of them take place there. The island itself has no beaches, okay, but they have watering holes, which were again made by lava flows, very healthy, and it's like a wellness place to swim. Another thing they're known for is cheese. They have St. George cheese. Okay, you can find it in Canada, in the U.S. And they export it. It's I actually went to the factory there. It's one of my favorite cheeses. I mean, obviously the world has so many thousands and thousands of different cheeses, right? But I think there, it's probably the best cheese in Portugal. I don't know. Some other people from other areas of Portugal will argue with that because I've tasted other types of cheese, that's wonderful, in mainland Portugal. Faial has good cheese as well. So there's no lack of cheese in these islands, okay? So if you love cheese and bread, this is the place. And they say that there's more cows than people. Pretty self-explanatory, obviously, to make all this cheese, and you need the milk, and they come from these organic cows. You usually see them everywhere, okay, grazing. Again, you can go to the description, visit Azores.com, and you get more information, as much information as you would like on there. The last triangle island is Pico Island. So Pico Island is where we are. I was born there, and then myself and Laura's been visiting for 10 years. She fell in love with the island, and we just bought a house there, and this is how we started our channel, our journey on Pico Island. Okay, we wanted to do this channel to promote the island and the Azores. We wanted to show people our experience of living there, the simple island life, which we'll continue to share. Obviously, we can't do as much right now because we are actually in Canada, but we'll be going back soon. And yeah, we've done videos every week, kind of just giving you a little glimpse and taste of Pico and Azores lifestyle, basically. Like we said, we bought a house, we bought a car, so our plan is to spend half the time there and half the time here in Canada. So, anyways, Pico is has the highest altitude of all of Portugal. Okay. Exactly 2,351 meters above sea level, and this is the highest point. Like I mentioned, this is a huge mountain range. Pico is literally the top of that. Okay, so if you removed all the water from the Atlantic Ocean, you'd be left with you can see this monstrous mountain range, the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, and on top, which I've climbed it once, standing up there. Okay, and I get goosebumps just thinking about it. You can see the sunrise, you can see other islands. Standing up there, you are literally on one of the highest places on the planet, okay? I'm not sure if it's in number 2 or number 3. I know it's top 3. So you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. There's a few other, one place in the Pacific that probably is higher. But anyways, it's a magical experience. That standing up there and watching the sun come up. So a lot of people come to Pico just to do that, to have that experience, okay? And it's basically, you drive halfway up, just to give you a quick on it, and because it's one of the things that this island is known for, okay? And then you have to climb, you have to check in with GPS into a lodge there, mountain lodge, and then you start your climb. So you can do it by yourself with a GPS. Some people get guides, and it takes you about 3 hours. You'll be getting up to the crater, which you get up, you go into the crater, and then you have to climb the small peak, which is, that's when you climb that, you'll be in the very top. I mean, I remember being up there and feeling the heat coming in from the center of the earth. And but again, it's a dramatic experience. Those that are able to climb it, I believe that would be an experience you would never forget. I still remember, and I did it over 20 years ago. I'd like to do it again. I don't know if my back would like that, so we'll see. I think Laura should do it at some point, and it'll be a great vlog, I can tell you that. What else is Pico known for? Pico is also known for wine. Okay, they have been producing wine for forever. Okay, in the old, we're talking about 1700s. I mean, they exported wine to royalty in Russia and Britain, mainland, and they've been reviving that more in the last, decade, where their wine's starting to even win awards, and it's a unique place. So the only way to really experience is to visit, right? The way the vines are, they're in these, it looks like a maze. They built these walls, to protect, these lava walls, and they're all over the island, and they were built to protect the grape, the vine from the the wind, from the salt, from the bad weather, but it also brought something positive into it as well. Another positive thing was they kept the heat in and a high concentration of sugar. So it's a lot of organic growth there, and there's different varieties of grape, and now it's a very unique tourism option. People come just for the wine, to check out the vineyards and the winemaking, and there's wineries popping up. It's crazy, you know, and I knew this would happen someday. To get to this level, it's just going to continue to grow. There's amazing wine growers on the island, and obviously that makes all the difference in the world. Okay, you could have lots of grapes, but if you don't know how to make the wine, then, you know, what do you got, right? Maybe vinegar. Also, what Pico is known for is, so when you go up, being a very high island, okay, so the kilometers of the island is about 444 square kilometers. That's the land mass, okay? And that's pretty much the size of Barbados. Barbados has about 300,000 people. Pico has about 15,000, about 14 something. So most of it just empty land. And so when you go up into the highlands of Pico, okay, which is about 20 minutes or so from the villages around the coast, you can literally take off 20, 25 minutes. You're in this other environment, compared to the, you know, the greenery like Scotland or Ireland, that sort of thing, with little lakes all over the place. It's a protected park. I mean, it's again, it's hard for me to describe it. You're only going to get that feeling when you're in it, and it goes for all the islands. When you're experiencing these unique areas, these nature areas, basically, they're reserves, and thank God that they're protecting them. I think that's amazing, and it's a total escape to be up there. So on Pico, you have three main municipalities, towns. Madalena, that's where a lot of the ferries between the islands go in and out, especially with Fayal and St. George. And they have the highest population on the island. Then you have one called Lajes do Pico. Again, it's on a Feyal, like those flat areas. It's the lowest area of Pico, where there's a village or a town, and they're known for the whale watching now. It used to be whale hunting, and that's where I was born. I was actually born there. And we have a family house there as well. My mom and my uncle own it. Again, it's a family house, and that's where we stay when we're on the island. Right now we're renovating our house that we bought, and we love this village. It's over 500 years old. First place that the explorers came on the island. It's very unique. Lodge is a very unique place. So again, you have to visit to really feel what it has to offer. The third is xoxo. It's on the north side of the island. A lot of the bigger ships come into there, like to containers with produce. This is where that comes in and out of. All three are very important, and they divide the whole island like that. Pico, obviously, because I was born there, and that's where we're based. It's a very special place to myself, my family, and when my dad, he's passed away now, but it was his favorite place in the world, and he always talked about it with me when he'd visit. And I remember him. He was the photographer of the island, and he took 80% of his pictures were always taken around that Lajes, that village, So I always remember the love he had for this area. So I think it's definitely in me, and we want to share the whole island and the Triangle Islands and all the Azores with you guys. To people that I believe that like the nature, the nature trip, get away from it all kind of trip. This is perfect for them. Laura has completely fell in love with Pico. Okay, and that's not just recently. We visited in 2010. I think that was our first time, and she literally fell in love from the time that plane landed on Pico, and ever since. It just grown, and I can see that, and I feel very lucky that we have a lot of things in common, but especially that I feel very lucky, emotional, that we get to share this. We get to share this. Everything we're doing there now. We're completely, in the same page, and we're just completely in sync. Experiencing, basically, just taking in what the island and the Azores has to offer. I mean, every time we go visit one of the other islands, we love it. We just think it's an environment that we feel very healthy in, and it adds to our life. Basically, and I know there are other people out there that will feel that, and then the only way is to get there. We obviously We love Canada. We didn't. I'm always careful to not just always pump up Pico, right? But this is a new part of our lives that we're sort of going towards, and the attachment with Canada, because I believe that, and I always say it's the best of both worlds. Portugal and Canada, and I totally mean that, and I feel that, and it's a great feeling always. Feeling a high visiting the island, Pico, the Azores, and when we come back, get this other high coming back to Canada, to our area here, Oakville, where we spent a lot of time. I think we're very privileged and thankful that we got to experience that. There are some amazing reasons why you should visit the Azores. Okay, obviously, abundance of scenic landscapes. Okay, it's a very nature healthy area of the planet. Okay, it's peaceful, it's safe, it's secure, very clean. The marine life there is like a sanctuary of various species of whales and dolphins and fish. You basically get the privilege of wherever you are in the Azores, any of the islands, to live the ocean and the country life. And I think that there's not too many places you can do both. And there you can do it to a very high level, very healthy level. Okay. It's just an area where you feel that you can create your own type of healthy lifestyle that you desire. Okay, let's call it the Azores lifestyle. Now, these islands are also affordable. Now, when you compare these islands to other places around the planet, other destinations that, I'm in the travel business, so I visit quite a few, and it's still one of the more affordable areas that you can visit and still have the quality. Okay, the cost of living is overall fairly low, even if you either spend half a year there, or vacation for a month, or do some long stays, or just visit. Definitely affordable. Where else can you still buy a cup of coffee for like €1, which is like $1 something, or a beer, same thing. Some things are a little higher. I think the gas and things like that, but nowhere is perfect. But I just think you can design your type of lifestyle when things are a little bit more affordable, where it allows you to, eat healthy foods and not spend an arm and a leg doing it. Because we all know that in North America, if you really want to eat healthy, you want to go to the healthy lifestyle, it's not cheap, right? Obviously, eating junk food is one of the cheapest things you can do, and it would be great if it was reversed. I think the world would be a lot healthier. Now, some activities that you can do in the Azores are, they're all attached to nature, a lot of them, like either on land or at sea. Okay, but there you can do amazing whale watching. I think that's one of the top 3 places in the world to do whale watching. Okay, that's guaranteed. Okay, swim with the dolphins. You can still do that there. You can go swim with them in their environment, not in a controlled area. Okay, you can do amazing hiking, walks, treks. You obviously can climb the mountain, the Pico. It's a little higher level, let's say closer to 5 than 1. But a lot of the hiking that Laura and myself, we do usually level 2 in there. That's it, 2 to 3. So there's lots to choose from in all the islands. They already have designed, hiking trails, or you can just do your own. It's an amazing place to do that. You can go. There's a lot of great deep sea fishing, shore fishing. You can go fishing on one of the local boats with one of the locals. So many varieties of fish that you can catch, and then go grill it yourself, which is what a lot of people do. If you want some more of the adventurous, extreme, active activities like canyoning, mountain climbing, they're there. Okay, you could also do scuba diving. It's becoming a top place to scuba dive. There's sharks. You can feed the sharks. You can go with a large mabula, which is the largest stingrays in the world. Unbelievable creatures. There's a designated area where they take you to that. These are giants, like stealth. Looks like a stealth bomber, those planes, but they're actually a beautiful creature. A lot of these activities are found on all the islands. Or you can do nothing, right? After a long day, you could always do nothing. Okay, don't forget, you don't always have to be doing something. Basically grab your favorite drink. Most of the places around these islands have an ocean view. Put your feet up and just sit back and breathe, basically. That's all. And spend the whole day doing that. You see how good it will feel, okay? I think it helps you balance everything. And that's, I guess, what we're all trying to do, or at least most of us. Not easy, but we're trying. And I think a place like the Azores or Pico makes it a little easier to do that. The way I would summarize the Triangle Islands, what they're all about, these three islands, okay, would be to say that they're all connected. That's the way I see them. Now, even learning more about them, I see them as a one, right? They are close to each other. They are separate, but I look at them as one. As a travel professional, and how I book trips into the Azores, and I always look at that. I always depending on how much time they have, the tourist, the traveler has, and I always say, look, if you go to these Triangle Islands, these three, you have access to all three of them. It doesn't really matter where you stay. Pick one, you have access to three. Stay at one, visit three. Obviously, the longer you have, the better it is. You can do things a little slower, because really, the slow pace is what you need to have in order to really get the full impact of these islands, okay? And when it comes to Pico and São Jorge and Faial, the Triangle Islands, you are in one place, okay? You can easily be staying in Pico and deciding, hey, what am I going to do tomorrow? Get on the ferry, you're in Fayal, spend a day there. Same thing with St. George. Or if you're there for a while, if you're stationed there for a month, let's say, and you just decide to, you can easily go to St. George for 3-4 days, depending what you want to do. Very easy to do. When you have three islands very close together, it really allows you to see them, to really feel that you belong to all three. Because there are similarities, for sure, but they're also different. If you're living there 2-3 months out of the year, get the full impact, see the three. Obviously, you can venture and see other ones, because at the end of the day, that you can fly quickly into one. There's other ferries that run, especially in the summer, to all the islands. One recent package that I did, basically, what they did is they stayed in 2 islands and saw 4. So basically, they had basically about 16 days. They were based on Pico, and they got to spend time on all 3. So they Fayal, St. George. And since they were flying out of the big island, San Miguel, I got them to spend 4 days, 4 nights there. So think about it. They got to see 4 amazing Azores Islands in about 16 days. And they obviously did activities, but they also took it easy, right? So that's the beauty of the Triangle Islands. It's the beauty of the Azores, okay? And I think I'm going to end it here. Hopefully you got some good information, at least for the ones that have never heard about the Azores, didn't know what the Triangle Islands were, didn't know what Pico or Fayal or St. George, got to now get a little taste, and who knows, maybe these type of islands suit what you're looking for. If they do, obviously we're going to make more videos, but there will be the description. You can now go, and there's lots of stuff on YouTube and Google. Feel free to just explore, but there's only one way really to really experience the islands. It's to visit, okay? Because you get that feeling. You cannot get the feeling from me talking to you about it. You can't get the feeling from just photos or reading or other YouTube videos. You really have to get the true feeling of what these islands are all about. You have to go and visit. You got to take your time, and you got to be there. I think that's the only way something will hit you, something will pull. Something might pull you towards the smallest island, Flores and Corvo. They're the 2 smallest. Or maybe you want the biggest island, San Miguel, or the Triangle Islands. But either way, the last piece of the puzzle is the feeling that you get. Just like Laura got that feeling when she first visited the place, and it has just grown from there. So thanks for spending the time. I know this is probably a bit lengthy. If you did enjoy this, please subscribe if you haven't done so, and we'll continue to share. Right now we're sharing from Canada, but when we get over there, we'll continue sharing more of our experience of what we're doing there and so forth. So hopefully you'll subscribe if you haven't done so. If you have any comments, just send me a message. There's also the email at the end of each video. Feel free, and thanks so much. We're so happy that you're part of this journey, okay, our journey on Pico Island, and we'll see you in the next video, okay?
Hi guys, I'm so sorry I wasn't able to be with you today with Carlos. I'm actually downtown Oakville, and I'm getting my hair done. And I'm actually quite lucky because my brother's a hairstylist and very, very busy, and he just let me know that he has a spot open, so I had to take it. Women have their priorities. Hey, this is my brother. You remember him from Thanksgiving. This is Sola, and there's lots of different hairstylists and nail technicians and estheticians in here. So it's actually a really great setup. And this is my brother's salon.
There's only one hairstylist.
There's only the best hairstylist, and his name is Paul Anthony. All right, we got to get started.
Let's do this.
Let's get rid of the gray. Well guys, hair's done. It's feeling good. It's a gorgeous day out here. Beautiful fall day. It's one of the things I love about being back in Canada at this time of the year. Sunshine, the leaves are changing, but I'm missing Pico. Pico is one of those islands. It's just so magical. It's a completely different feeling. The air is different. It's just a beautiful place to be. You don't feel as much stress there. I could talk about the island, but the only way you're really going to experience it is by going there and smelling the salt water, fresh air, the sunshine. It's gorgeous. So you guys got to get over there and experience it for yourselves. So I'm going to check out now because we have an appointment with our architect, and I'm sure Carlos is already speaking with John. Just wanted to share a little bit about Pico Island with you, and I miss it a lot, and I can't wait to get back there. We're going to see you in the next video, and make sure you watch the next video because we have some exciting news to share. We'll see you guys.